Welcome to the Wolf Sports Show. Trusted, proven analysis of all 32 teams every week during the NFL season. Hey, it's Dave Chapin. Thank you for listening to the Wolf Sports Show. Week 11 of the NFL season was very entertaining, and if the playoffs started today, the Chiefs, Lions, and Ravens would all be out of the 14-team field. So the interesting season continues. We're going to recap everything that happened last week. Biggest story probably the Broncos beating the Chiefs, getting to 9-2, sending Kansas City to 5-5. Jaquan McMillan made huge plays on defense, 2 sacks and the interception to stop a Kansas City drive. Patrick Mahomes didn't really play great earlier on that drive with the interception. Should have been a pick six. Looked like a very questionable illegal contact call that is ticky-tacky and arbitrary and when officials decide to call it. But Bo Nix continuing to silence the clueless doubters. 5th comeback win. He led this season. Now has the most fourth quarter comebacks in NFL history for a player through his first 2 seasons. Was ice cold on that game-winning drive. The 3rd and 15 to Sutton rolling out. The back shoulder corner out to Troy Franklin. To talk about low ceiling, system quarterback, all that nonsense. Just so ridiculous. Denver, a tough team to beat with a clutch quarterback, that defense, and the young receiver stepping up a little bit in Franklin, who's still inconsistent, but Franklin and Pat Bryant. Another big game, the Eagles won a defensive battle over the Lions. Sunday night, the Philly defense looks elite. Detroit really couldn't convert. 0 for 5 on 4th downs. Jared Goff under constant pressure. Jordan Davis, Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC, had 3 pass deflections. Unfortunate the game ended on that terrible pass interference call against Rocky Sin, but could be a matchup we see again in January. Josh Allen, 6 total touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 passing, in a 44-32 win over the Bucs. Tampa Bay giving up way too many big plays. Allen bounced back in a major way from the pick 6 to start the game and really did it all in the dominant effort. They face the Texans tonight. The Bills do, so another big test. And no Dalton Kincaid again. We'll see about Keon Coleman, who was out last week for a coach's decision for missing or being late, whatever it was, to a team meeting. Rams held on for a key NFC West win against the Seahawks. Sam Darnold, 4 interceptions was the story, but linebacker Ernest Jones made it clear the team has his back. And the Rams offense, they started hot to do enough in a game where the Seahawks defense played really well. An unfortunate story was Jamar Chase spitting on Jalen Ramsey. He's suspended for this Sunday against the Patriots. Add that to the loss to the Steelers last week. Cincy now 3-7. Pittsburgh got the bounce back they needed, now at 6-4. But Aaron Rodgers have to watch his status due to a left wrist injury that forced him out of the game. But Mason Rudolph, if he's forced to play against the Bears, has shown he's more than capable with the Steelers. Now a little more quick hitting for the rest of the Week 11 results. Dolphins beat the Commanders in overtime in the first ever NFL game in Spain. Von Achan paced the win with 165 total yards. Dolphins 3-1 in their past 4 games, actually, as Mike McDaniel making a strong case to remain as the head coach. Dak Prescott threw 4 touchdowns against the Raiders. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb both went off. Quinnen Williams, his first game went about as well as possible, 1.5 sacks. Was good to see DeMarvion Overshown back in there, his season debut coming back from the knee injury, and obviously a bigger test than the Raiders. Offensive line continued to struggle. Bigger test this week against the Eagles. Bears now 7-3 after beating the Vikings on the game-winning field goal last second by Cairo Santos. Set up by the kick return by Devin Duvernay. Chicago gave up some stuff late. J.J. McCarthy, if he can hone what he's done late in games, he's been pretty good late in games, and somehow get it going earlier. There's been a lot of frustration with his play, obviously. That was just his 5th start, but not connecting with Justin Jefferson when any other quarterback that's been in there has is a concern. Niners beat the Cardinals 41-22. Brock Purdy looked outstanding in his return to the lineup. Christian McCaffrey, 3 touchdowns. George Kittle caught 2, including a total dime from Purdy. On the other side, Jacoby Brissett set the single game record for completions, actually, 47 completions in the loss. Last Thursday night, Travion Henderson continued his second half surge, 3 touchdowns. Jets started pretty fast, couldn't keep it going. Passing game looking to get a jolt with the 2-game winning streak ended. Now going to Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, benching Justin Fields, and it's pretty shocking the guaranteed money they gave to Fields with the expectation that he was going to sort of be their Jared Goff for a new regime there. Panthers came back to beat the Falcons, make that 10 of 12 career wins for Bryce Young, coming on game-winning drives. That's just crazy. He had 448 pass yards, 3 touchdowns. Carolina 6-5, ahead of a Monday night matchup with the Niners. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, Michael Penix Jr. suffered a torn ACL. Penix now has 5 season-ending injuries in 8 seasons dating back to college, so the durability, unfortunately, has remained a question. Jaguars, one of the most shocking results of the week, blew out the Chargers 35-6. That's the way you respond from blowing the lead to Houston the week before. Etienne and Tutton were both great in the backfield, ran really well. Josh Hines out in the defense held the Chargers to 135 185 total yards in the victory. LA, I think the bye comes at a good time for them. They have the Raiders next, now at 7-3. Ravens, it was a gritty win at Cleveland. That happens. Browns defense is especially tough at home. Myles Garrett had 4 sacks again. Lamar Jackson was picked off twice, but Derrick Henry had a big run. Defense for the Ravens again, playing well in the second half now. For Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders saw his first action, and now he's going to make his first career start against the Raiders this week, and he should be determined after they passed on him many times in the draft during his draft slide. Jameis Winston made his first start of the season in a 27-20 loss to the Packers. Green Bay had a chance for a bunch of interceptions, a few at least, and finally came through with a late one on, it might have been Jalen Hyatt, might have not ran the route or finished the route, or miscommunication with Winston on what was expected. Whatever it was, Evan Williams sealed the game with the interception as the Packers narrowly escaped on the road to end a 2-game losing streak. Giants expected to get Jackson Dart back for this Sunday versus the Lions, and a good test at Detroit. Texans, another close divisional win, beat the Titans by 3. Last second game-winning field goal by Matthew Wright. Davis Mills again came through late, and it had a good connection with Nico Collins. Going to start again tonight against the Bills. For Tennessee, it was promising. Van Jefferson caught a late touchdown from Cameron Ward to tie the game, so they'll look to play in close, gritty games and try to get some wins down the stretch. Then the two teams that were on a bye last week, the Saints, they just released veteran receiver Brandon Cooks. We'll see where he lands, but an extra week they had Kellen Moore had to prepare rookie quarterback Tyler Shough for his first career home start. Remember, coming off the win against Carolina 2 weeks ago. The Colts, Jonathan Taylor got a well-earned rest, 17 total touchdowns this season. They go to Arrowhead. Really interesting matchup with the Chiefs now even more desperate. They were already desperate last week, but don't want to fall to 5-6. The Colts at 8-2, one of the best teams in the league. If they can run the ball and Daniel Jones has time, can definitely pull off the road win. Looks like another good schedule this week. Bills, Texans to kick it off. Eagles, Cowboys are on Sunday. Sunday night is Bucks, Rams, and then Monday night, two teams right now squarely in the wildcard mix at least, and right there in the division too, in the Panthers and the 49ers. Actually, surprisingly, Christian McCaffrey's first game against his former team didn't play a few years ago when they matched up. So it should be fun. Enjoy all the games. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel right here on YouTube, and you can also find the audio version wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time.